Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first video episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. I'm Star Wars competitor Andrew DiMolanta.
And I'm Nicki DiMolanta.
Thank you for joining us again on this episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. So, only have to go over one match today.
Shit.
Yeah, because of, the whole situation.
Thanks, coronavirus.
And another thing that is being affected by the coronavirus is obviously the Schmoedown and the matches, because Christian said that they have so many episodes already taped and they'll be good until he said about the beginning of May.
Yeah, if they release like one a
week, which they are doing now. So this is why I only have one episode to go over this week.
Which means I'm thirsty.
Yeah. So he said he was going to try to have an Inner Geekdom tournament.
Right.
And we'll talk more about the winner of that tournament was supposed to go on and play the winner of Chandru versus Smets, because
so like the winner the winner of the IG tournament would be number one contender.
Yeah, because gotcha. Chandru now has a shot at the Inner Geekdom title, because Mike was supposed to go up against it, but Mike's like, no, I want to focus on teams right now because I think he has a bigger shot at winning teams.
Where did that happen?
On backstage.
Okay.
So this was all revealed on backstage this past week.
Gotcha.
But since Chandru has just beat Hannah,
yes.
he now is the number one contender for the IG belt. So now this won't happen until a live event, a live taping or something. This can't happen over video or anything like that. So
so we talk about that now. We talk about that later.
We're talking about that a little later. So that was a little bit of an announcement. But
put a pin in that.
But what was supposed to happen was they were going to have an IG tournament over Streamyards.
Yes.
Which Streamyard is probably banking right now.
Oh
Everybody's streaming. Like
yes.
I've seen on Instagram, like people from ESPN, since they can't leave, they have their own little Streamyard sessions.
Does Streamyards have like? Wait. Does StreamYard, you do Streamlabs in StreamYard?
I do. We use Streamlabs because I like the control. I'm a control freak.
So it's like a platform. It's not
a platform.
Like you use Streamlabs with a thing. It's like
you
Streamlabs.
Stream from. It's a service that, from my understanding, I've only loosely researched this because I was actually thinking about using StreamYards to bring in guests and stuff. I was like, well, we have Discord and Skype and. Yes. But it's a service that you can use that you can stream to YouTube and Twitch and things like that. I think on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook. It's YouTube and Facebook.
Okay.
But you can do it for free. But then there's paid services and stuff like that. But so they were supposed to have an IG tournament over StreamYards to and like bring in competitors through StreamYards, and the winner of that goes face Chandru. But I think just today, so we've recorded this on Saturday night, and just today, Christian posted in the Facebook group, right? Not happening anymore. We're gonna do exhibition matches instead.
Right.
So, which is fine. Which I understand. I kind of didn't like the whole
I know. I was kind of unsure.
It doesn't have the same feel, and you're taking a huge dynamic out of the game.
Well, because we were talking about it like what I'm about to say. There's a big grain of salt in the middle of it, but it's like, if you have like I don't know why Christian decided not to do StreamYards or whatever. I don't know why he decided. I don't know.
It just probably doesn't have the right feel to it, and you couldn't be as wouldn't feel legit.
That's what I'm saying, because if you had like a StreamYards tournament, it's like you don't. It would. I feel bad even saying it, but it's like you open up, the opportunity for cheating. I didn't want to say the C word.
Yeah.
But. And the huge grain of, is it salt? I almost said grain of sand.
Grain of
salt. Where that came from. But the grain of salt with that is like, I don't think anybody in the league would do that. I think the integrity is too high. I honestly, genuinely don't think anybody would do that. But the fact that it's there, I think that there would be measures in place to mitigate that. But you never know. Not that I think
if you wanted to cheat, which I don't think any of the competitors would ever do it, because you're gonna, when you do go against that title, it's gonna be live and you're gonna embarrass the fuck out of yourself.
Like an idiot.
Yeah. So, but not that I'm saying that anybody in this league would
I don't think
cheat.
anybody would.
Nobody would.
I think the level of integrity is too high.
Yeah,
but just the fact that it's it's
you're not
there.
A person,
and also because. We're literally just talking about this like less than an hour ago.
Yeah.
But like, it takes away. I feel like it. I don't know. I've never competed, so I don't know. But I feel like if you did a StreamYard thing, it would take out the dynamic of
The studio.
being in the studio, being in front of people, having the announcers like physically right in front of you.
Yeah.
And it would feel more like that at home couch playing
Yeah.
than it would actually playing
It
a
would
match.
feel. It would feel like a fan league.
It would feel like a
No.
fan
Yeah.
league.
And no.
No offense to fan
No
leagues.
offense to fan leagues, but it's a huge difference between competing at home and competing in the Schmoedown.
Yeah.
It's called the big league for a reason.
Exactly. And like being sitting next to somebody, like if I'm sitting next to a shit talker and they're right there talking shit at me, it's going to be a lot different than, somebody's on my screen,
Exactly.
talking shit.
And the fact that managers have to come and play too.
Exactly.
So I think there's just so many factors going up against like, well, we really can't, if this is going to count towards records and points for the factions, it's just too many factors in the air.
Too many factors. And you know what? While I am thirsty for Schmoedown content and I will take it pretty much any, way it's given.
Yeah.
That was weird. But I'm still kind of glad that it's,
I'm glad.
it's a double-edged sword because while I want Schmoedown content, I'm kind of also okay with this decision for whatever reason it came down.
Yeah. I think it just came down to there's just too many logistics.
Yeah.
Too much opportunity for cheating, too much
Change in dynamic.
Since if this is an actual tournament to get to a title, it's going to count towards faction points. So it's just too much, and I'm glad that they're doing it to exhibition. Now it's a looser environment. It really doesn't matter if you win or lose.
They wouldn't count towards faction points.
Exhibition is just it's for fun.
For funsies.
For funsies. So
right.
I'm glad that they did that.
Me too, because I'll still get the content that I so
deeply
want. Crave.
Yeah.
But it, nobody's going to be able to cry foul play, with an exhibition match.
Yeah.
Like could be possible with a StreamYard.
Yeah.
Number one contender.
Yeah.
I always almost say Instagram whenever we talk about IG. Inner Geekdom match.
Yeah. So so that was the big news that dropped today.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get into this match with it was a teams match versus the Pride.
We got the Pride versus the Butcher Boys.
Mm-hmm.
The Pride is Ben the Bandit Goddard. And Rachel, the Switchblade Silvestrini.
No, please don't call her that. Did they give her a new nickname?
Wasn't she Shining Star or something like that?
Was she always Shining Star?
Well, actually, when they were doing like pre-match highlights and stuff, I'm pretty sure it did say, I don't know if Shining Star is actually what the name was, but it did have it because I was like, wow, I don't remember that name.
I don't either. I'm sorry, Rachel.
I like Switchblade, and I think that's what we should stick
Speaking
with.
of Switchblades, did you notice in the promo, Goddard?
In my notes, yes. Yes, I noticed.
Yes, okay, so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Jumping the gun. So we got Ben and Rachel on the Pride, and they are representing the Den.
The Den.
And then we got the Butcher Boys. I don't remember what their nicknames were. If they had nicknames, so...
And they're both rookies.
They're both rookies.
I think.
Butcher Boys, Vinny Mancuso and Owen Mugen. And they represent the Dungeon. So, let's get into it. Pre-match. I love this shtick with Kate being the mom who has a fanny pack.
The Den mother.
She gave Ben his snack, which was ribs, which I don't get. Which also, side note, I asked Ben on one of his Twitch streams because,
Do you finally follow him on Twitch?
he's all right. He's cool. But I asked him on one of his streams, I was like, hey, baby, did you eat those ribs? Were they good? And he was like, RB3 actually ate them.
Oh, my God.
I guess he threw them to the side because he was like, oh, I guess I got a match to play here. And RB3 just chowed down. And so hopefully they were good. And then she gave Rachel a bar of soap because she probably needed to wash her mouth out.
Oh, yeah.
Because she got a potty mouth like this. So then we go to the dungeon. And Kaiser, I thought it was very funny that he called Benny Bagel Bites. Thought that was funny and cute. Kaiser said that he got shit for having a bad draft, but said, look at my track record. Look what I did with Oyama. Look what I did with Smets.
Yeah. Granted,
she's got a good point.
He's got a good point. They've only played 2 matches so far with the dungeon, so
yeah. But what he did last season is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah,
he did a great job last season with rookies. So give the guy a chance. See what he can do. And then, yes, I have a note here that says, Ben had a switchblade comb.
He made a point to do it on camera. It was really funny.
Oh, I just realized that it's kind of layered because he had a switchblade comb because Rachel
And the
switchblade
grease.
and it's the greasers. So good. Like, Ben, you're a genius, actually, I think. I don't even know if you knew those layers, but
I think it was all purpose.
that was
purposeful.
good. You're a genius. That's why you do what you do. So Butcher Boys, they came out first, of course.
Yep.
They came out with Kaiser, Smets, and Videodrew.
Yes.
Then with the Den, Sean Sullivan, Kate, Brandon, Hannah, they all came out with Ben and Rachel.
Yeah.
So let's get into the match.
Yeah.
Round 1. I gotta remember where I was going with this. So I have a note that Rachel used a repeat on a question about who played Matt Hopper in Jaws. I don't remember what the answer was, but she used a repeat, and Vinny was like, "What?" And it was kind of ironic because he had already used a repeat.
Yeah.
So it's like Vinny came in with a lot of spit and vinegar, coming into this match. He definitely had that bad boy, wow, look at Mark made a comment about his cutoff denim jacket.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those sky blue denim jackets too. It's not even
No, it was a denim vest, sleeveless denim jacket.
vest.
But it's a
Yes.
vest. So
You're right. You're right. Can't argue with that.
interesting style.
So yeah, I thought that was interesting that he was talking shit. It's like, dude, I get it. You're trying to make a persona, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like,
dude,
chill just a little bit. Goddard gets a perfect round. Good for him.
Goddard's good.
He's I want to say sneaky good, but it's not even sneaky good. He's just good.
It's not. It's no
he's
secret.
just
If you
outright good.
If you watch him on his streams and how many gets right on his streams. Granted, they're old matches, but there's been some matches where the questions weren't easy, and I was like, wow, Ben is pretty good.
Yeah. Oh no, Ben
he's
knows
making
his shit.
It's early, it's halfway through the season now, basically.
Yeah.
And he's making a strong case for Rookie of the Year right now. I think.
I think so.
So.
I think so.
Yeah, he's undefeated right now. He's played multiple matches.
He's 2-0.
He's 2-0, and granted, it's across 2 divisions, but still, he's undefeated.
There's nothing to sneeze at, especially not now with coronavirus.
Yeah.
So then he gets a perfect round. The bonus question was, what's, I guess it was movie quotes. What movie has the quote, "The world is yours," and it was Scarface, and he got it. So round 1, 14-15 in favor of the Pride. Round 2, Pride obstacle first. They spin Adam Sandler. They keep it.
Yeah,
why not?
I mean,
Seems like a cool guy.
it's not a terribly tough category.
I think I've seen
I've seen
2 Adam Sandler movies.
I mean, come on.
Maybe. I've seen 51st Dates. That one I'm sure of.
That's one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies.
I don't know about anyone else.
Love that movie.
I don't know.
Anyways.
I don't know. I don't know. I know for sure I've seen that. So they go to multiple choice 3 times and they get each one. They got the other 3 right. So it wasn't a perfect round, but they navigated it well. Just because you had to go to multiple choice doesn't mean you bombed the round.
Yeah, no.
There's still, a measure of respect in navigating it well. They didn't miss a question.
Yeah, no. And that's,
So,
Hey, it's, not a flawless second round, but it's, you didn't miss a question. So that's good.
No,
that's a good second round.
Did great.
Yeah.
Better than I would do. So then the Butcher Boys, who I put as the B-Boys, they spin Scarlett Johansson and they decide
spin away.
to spin away.
Because that's the difference between Adam Sandler and Scarlett Johansson movies. I think is Scarlett Johansson's a tougher category. I think. Just again, it's subjective.
More movies or
well, no, just because because it could be argued that Adam Sandler's mostly comedic roles, very few serious roles. For some reason, I feel serious movies like dramas, are more difficult for some reason. I have no idea why. Maybe it's just subjective for me, but for me, I think comedies are a little bit more easier.
Has Scarlett Johansson been in a lot of serious movies? Really?
Yeah.
Besides Marriage
just,
Story?
Yeah, you just can't get the Avengers out of your head.
Maybe. Because I feel like she always plays the same character, but that's probably just for the
at the height of her
movies.
popularity with the whole Marvel thing. I think that's easy to pigeonhole her in that category. But she's done some pretty good roles in the before that too.
Oh, she was in that one movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah,
Rico Suave. What's it called?
I can't remember, but she was good in that.
It's
role.
not that, but it's something like that.
Match Point. She was really good at Match Point.
Never heard of it.
Lost in Translation. She was fantastic in that. I love that movie.
Oh, I did see that, but
Bill
I don't
Murray.
think I paid attention.
Yeah.
Japan.
Yes.
Call me Christian. So then they spin again. They get Kevin Smith.
Yes.
And okay, so I have a note with this too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe this is fair game. Maybe this is part of the game. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But and it also doesn't really matter because it was their second spin, so they had to keep it regardless. But Mark did something that it always kind of small part of it annoys me.
It gives your edge away.
Oh wow, Kevin Smith. That's a strength of Rachel's.
Mm-hmm.
In this situation, it didn't really matter because it was their second spin. It's not like they had the choice to spin away.
Yeah.
But when the announcers do that, I feel like had that been their first spin, and Mark was like, "Wow, look at Rachel's strength."
Yeah.
Then they'd be like, "Oh fuck, let's spin again because
we
she's
don't
gonna
want
steal everything."
Yeah.
Especially because like the Butcher Boys, they're both rookies. I don't know how much they've watched the Schmoedown in the past.
Yeah.
Maybe they haven't done their research. Maybe they didn't have that conversation with their manager on what, Ben and Rachel's strengths are.
Mm-hmm.
It always just kind of annoys me when I hear the announcers almost like give hints for the competitors.
Yeah, and it's also like when with the family versus who did they last play? The Corruption.
Yeah.
When the whole argument when Ellis was like, the match depends on how Andrew Guy does and stuff. And like he's like, they're right there, so the competitors can hear all that. And we had this argument before where it's like if it was like any other sport where the announcers aren't heard by the competitors and they're in this little bubble, do that all the time. But it's the fact that the Schmoedown is so different. Like the announcers are also the people giving you the questions.
And they're part of the match.
And they're part of the match.
Yeah.
So I get that argument, but then it's the same thing about announcers got to keep the broadcast interesting.
Yeah, they got to keep it interesting. They got to
But I do
fill the air time.
Yeah, I do agree that it does end up giving your edge away. So maybe
it could. Not in this specific match.
Yeah.
But
my argument to that also is even with newer competitors coming in, don't say anything about your strengths and weaknesses.
Yes,
so the
that's what I'm
announcers
saying.
don't know that. So the sooner but
they have to give them because they always do their strengths and
you
weaknesses.
you can lie.
You can throw people off the
You
scent.
can throw people off the scent.
You could, but yeah, you could.
Yeah,
like say a lesser good category and keep the really good one in your pocket.
Keep the one that you
maybe think
that nobody would know that you would know. So like say I go in and like I'm really good at this is one of my I'll ever compete in singles, like maybe Spielberg is one of my big strengths, and they're like, well, he's a Star Wars guy, so his Star Wars is clear strength. It's like, well, Spielberg is one of my I'm good in Spielberg, but I'm not as good as Star Wars. So
let me keep that in my
so let me keep
in my arsenal.
You know what I mean? But like then it's also like when you start winning more, the announcers are so good,
people will put it together.
They're gonna catch up on it and like, oh, he's really good at this category.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter if you're a rookie coming in, because Rachel is a veteran of the game. She's been around for a while. Ben is more of a newer competitor, so
he is a rookie. It's
so
his first season.
Yeah, as far as we know, these guys already knew that.
They might have already known
it.
But I know it's just happened in some matches, and I know that Christian and Mark and people running the show get a lot of shit, and I don't mean to be piling onto that shit. It's just something that whenever I hear it, I'm like, oh no, like what if they didn't know that? And now you're showing somebody's cards.
Yeah.
It's whatever. It's a moot point in this match because
it's a moot point.
It's a moot point. It's like a cow's opinion. It's
moo.
Friends reference. If you didn't know.
All right. So
let me just scroll right back to where I was. So they spin Kevin Smith, multiple choice, miss, pride steals.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Multiple choice, miss, pride steals. Let me rephrase that. Rachel steals.
Yeah.
So then
because these second round steals, Ben admitted this that was all Rachel.
He said full on. He was like, well, we'll get to that at the end.
Yeah.
But then they got another question. I don't know if they were kind of like, ooh, we need to make up some ground here. let's just go for it and not do multiple choice. They did a big miss without multiple choice.
Yeah.
And this, in our opinion,
This is
was
the match. This is the match right here.
So it was some question about a Star Wars film mentioned in
What are the characters'
Clerks or something?
favorite
Star Wars film.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my brain, the only films that Kevin Smith has made are Clerks. I know I'm wrong, but I'm assuming it was from Clerks because that's all he's fucking made, right? So they miss it. Vinny and Owen, they miss it. I forget what they said. Jedi or something?
Yeah,
Did they
said Return.
literally say Jedi?
They said Return of the Jedi.
So this was an interesting moment.
Yes.
Because they miss it. And then, like, Rachel does this, like, cocky laugh.
Wastes time.
Wastes a bit of time, if we're going to be honest. And then I think Vinny might have said something back to her.
Wastes more time.
Wastes a bit more time. She kind of reacted to it. And then I feel like they said something, and then she said something, and then she kind of reacted. And I don't know if it kind of...
rattled her a bit.
I don't know if it rattled her a bit, got in her head a little bit. Because she, I mean, obviously she knows Kevin Smith inside out. But it was a weird moment that I was like, wow, I've never seen Rachel actually kind of look like... almost like stunned before. Not to say that they like got to her, but it was just a weird moment. And if I'm going to be honest, I was actually like, oh, I'm a little uncomfortable, you know? And so then they started counting down.
Yeah.
And Rachel was like, it's Empire.
Yeah.
And right as Christian was like in between 2 and 1, you know, like 1.5.
Yeah, he didn't stop counting.
Ben goes,
Empire Strikes Back. Trying to save it, basically.
Trying to save it because they didn't finish the countdown, nor did they say, are you sure about that answer?
Yeah.
Like,
and they technically, she's wrong because the title of the movie isn't Empire. It's The Empire Strikes Back.
However,
This
here's where we're going to argue why. I mean, granted.
Yeah.
So they said that she ran out of time, first of all, and they said that it was wrong. Den challenges.
Yes.
Challenges upheld. The Den keeps the points.
Yes.
Big 2-point steal.
Big 2-point steal. And this was the match for us.
This was the match. Here's why there's no point because they got the points.
Yeah.
But here's where we're going to tell you why we think Rachel was totally right.
Yeah.
No disputing it anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, number one, Christian said 1 after Goddard said Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. So
got both your answers.
He got in there.
So just based on that alone, you said Empire and Empire Strikes Back before Christian hit 1.
Yeah.
So there you go. But also, in the context of the question.
Yes.
What Star Wars film?
Yeah, so you're already narrowing the pool down to Star Wars movies only.
Exactly. There's literally, within that context, there's literally one movie that can be referred to as Empire.
Yeah.
It's not like you said Jedi, and it's like, oh, Return or Last.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
There's literally one film. If you're going to narrow it to here, there's one film in there that's Empire.
Yeah.
But
so it's common sense. Like, yeah, okay, we know which movie you're talking about.
Exactly.
It's Empire Strikes Back, so we'll give you the points.
But another interesting point. We were watching, I think it was another one of Goddard's streams. Yeah. I guess I'm a fan. I don't know if it was the same stream or a different stream.
It might have been a different stream. I think it was a different. It was last night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think
it was last night.
Because he was watching.
They were watching the premiere.
Yeah, he was watching the premiere on the stream.
So somebody actually kind of argued for it in a way that I was like, wow, I never thought of that.
This was a very good point. Do you remember who said it, though?
Commentating Nerd.
Yes, he also follows us.
Shout out if you're listening and or watching.
Yes.
So Commentating Nerd. Oh, let me see if I know I took a screenshot because I wanted to give this person credit where credit's due. He literally, word for word. So reasoning is, if you only saw Clerks, you would only know Empire. Because one of the deciding factors in the challenge was, well, in the film,
the guy says
when
Empire.
asked, his answer was Empire. It wasn't The Empire Strikes Back. It wasn't Episode 5.
Yeah.
It was Empire. I don't fucking know. I don't know if I've ever seen Clerks, but I trust that was what he said. Because Rachel said that was what he said.
Yeah.
So the fact that, wait, hold on. Let me remind myself. He said, if you only saw Clerks, you would only know Empire, which I think is a fantastic point.
Yeah, because if you don't know Star Wars.
Exactly. If you don't know Star Wars, you might be like, Empire what?
Yeah.
Empire the TV show?
Yeah, and you'd be like, whoa, that movie is actually called Empire Strikes Back?
Exactly. If you're not if you're not a Schmoedown fan and you're just not well versed with movies,
And
you
you're
might
not a
not
fan,
realize that Empire is a Star Wars film. You might just think it's a movie called Empire,
Empire.
even though they were asking what's your favorite Star Wars film.
Yeah. Yeah,
You wouldn't know the full title if you didn't know Star Wars.
Yeah.
So Rachel was 100% right given the context of the question.
Yeah.
Beating a dead horse. I know, because they got the points.
Because they got the points, but
it
yeah,
felt
but
good to
situations
get that out.
like but the point is, the situations like that will happen again.
Yeah.
So you have to like,
It's a learning opportunity.
yeah, and this is one of those like situations where I always say, even if you don't think you're right, challenge it anyways, because there might be an off-ball chance that,
much to the dismay of the announcers.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's the thing. That's how much these matches actually mean, because especially now that we're getting so few of them.
Yeah.
That's like, if it comes to the point where like, oh man, I don't know if I'm right or not.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and challenge it, because you never know.
You never know. Because until Commentating Nerd said that, I was like, oh.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a really good point.
That was a fantastic point.
Is that a flaw in the question and the way it was worded? Who knows? But yeah, it's a good learning opportunity. But good job, Rachel, because 100% on every front, you and Ben had that question.
Exactly.
Challenge should not even have been needed, but in the moment, I understand why it happened. Moving on. Round 3. 2-point question went to Owen. It was a Sly and Arnie. It was about Ken Knapsack is streaming.
Oh, wow.
Look at that Twitch notification. MLB. Baseball. Blah. I love Ken. So Sly and Arnie, it was about a movie called, it was what movie has the line "Ice to meet you"? Batman and Robin.
One of the best, worst movies ever.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
That was Robin. That was the one where Chris O'Donnell was Robin.
Yes.
And his family was like trampy artists.
No, that was Batman Forever.
Shit. Wow.
This is
Really?
the one.
Are you
This is
sure?
the sequel to that,
Fuck.
where Clooney plays Batman. Worst Batman in history of film.
Clooney plays Batman in Ice to Meet You.
In Batman and Robin.
Who plays Batman in the one I was talking about?
Val Kilmer. He wasn't terrible, but he's definitely better than Clooney. Clooney had no Batman voice.
It was just Clooney.
It was just Clooney doing just like, "Hey, I'm Batman." It's like, dude, seriously?
Good job, George.
He is terrible. He wasn't even a good Bruce Wayne either, I don't think.
I honestly,
did not like that
I'm sure
movie.
I've seen those movies at some point, but I don't remember
so bad.
anything.
Maybe we'll do it on a watch along.
Danny DeVito was a penguin. Ice to Meet You was not Sylvester Stallone.
Arnold
Schwarzenegger. And
Chill.
I just remember that at that point in our lives, we got those sick mugs from McDonald's.
Oh yeah,
Remember those?
those big glass ones?
Yes.
Oh my god, those are so good.
So good.
Yeah, not to go off on a tangent, but like that movie was made for just merchandise, because the amount of variant of toys they made for that movie was ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah.
Besides those glasses?
Yeah, they're for just toy lines. There's like, because they wear like, I think fucking like 4 different outfits in that movie, or something ridiculous.
Was also Kill Bill was Poison Ivy?
Mm-hmm. Uma
What's her
Thurman.
name? Uma Thurman. That's her name. Yeah. I've seen that movie. I'm not sure that I've seen Ice to Meet You all the way. Wait, that
what?
was Ice to Meet You. I've seen the one where Robin was a circus guy.
Yeah, that was Batman Forever.
That one. I think I've seen
Terrible.
Batman Forever. I'm not really sure if I've seen Ice to Meet You.
Never got Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin.
I've never got the Batman Forever title. Well, anyway, we're going on.
I mean,
a tangent.
he's
Let's
always
bring
Batman.
Bring it back to the
He's
Schmoedown.
always Batman, hence Batman Forever. He's always going to do it. The hero we didn't deserve, but always needed. Forever. Batman Forever. Moving on.
Oh my god.
3-point question, of course, goes to Vinny. He got comedy. Something about a Cornetto trilogy. I've never heard that term before.
please.
But it was something about Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and another one.
And I always forget the title to this last movie. It's like because the name of the bar is the title of the film, I believe. But
Yeah.
I always get the title of it wrong, so I'm not going to embarrass
never-
myself and say the wrong title.
Never heard the term.
Cornetto.
Never heard the term Cornetto trilogy. What's Cornetto? Is that the director? Like, what does Cornetto mean?
I honestly don't. I'll look it up.
made
Look
up
it up
or
on Google.
something.
Ask Google.
Ridiculous.
Ask the Google machine.
Anyways, they got it somehow. I guess they had a good guess.
Yeah.
Who's even heard of that? 5-pointer. Julian Roberts. Question about Mystic Pizza.
No, wow. I think I've heard of this. I don't know.
I've definitely heard of it.
I have not seen it though.
I don't know that I've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably haven't. So anyways, they missed it. And so it was 25-26 in favor of the Pride in a
TKO. It was a big win for the Den.
Big win for the Den
Yeah.
because
They're a clear second place now.
hell yeah, the Den is crushing it.
Yeah.
So post-game interviews. Rachel says they're going to be unstoppable. Says that anybody that sleeps on them can suck it. Kate says she meant lollipops. Not, And then Rachel said that, they work well as a team together because while Ben got the perfect round, she got all the round 2 steals. So they complemented each other.
Yes.
Beautifully in this match. Jen asked Ben about asserting his dominance. Boy. Kate said to clarify, Jen meant gameplay, nothing else. She said, don't worry about it. Don't answer any other questions, my perfect baby. Ben, my perfect baby, got it. And Rachel said the smack talk, I think Jen had brought up that moment with her and Vinny with the Empire Strikes Back thing. And Rachel was like, well, the smack talk was kind of just to make sure that they can hang because smack talk is an integral part of the game.
Yeah.
So it was just part of it, for Rachel. And it was just kind of like, well, can you hang?
Yeah.
Kaiser, he said that he hates Kevin Smith movies, always has, and definitely still will, even more now. And he was talking shit.
What is this? Their second or third loss? This is their third loss, right? Because they were 0-2 before this.
Yeah, I
so
think.
They're 0-3 now.
They had a singles and a teams match, right?
Yeah, they had a single. Yeah, the dungeon.
Oh, no.
I know they had a Star Wars loss.
Adam Witt.
And then they had another. Did they have another team?
Video Drew.
Yes, they had a team loss. So they had 2 team losses.
Video Drew and New Tom.
So they had that. They had a Star Wars match.
Cuckoo's Mess.
And then they had this one. Yeah. So they're 0-3 now. They are not looking good.
But
and this IG tournament could have made up for that because assuming Parker would have been in that tournament. That's assuming
an absolute guarantee that he would have been in that tournament.
Yeah. So
I don't know about any of the rest of the faction because Kevin would obviously not be included.
Even if Parker, because I think they might already have Parker's match filmed. So even if he TKOs Ace, they're nowhere near the top with 4 points.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
So hopefully he does get a TKO for the dungeon's sake.
I don't know, man, because now it's like, who knows? Because especially now with all this Corona shit, who knows how much opportunity you're gonna make to get to make up points now?
Yeah.
Just because
the future of this particular season of the Schmoedown is
it's very up in the air right now.
It's very up in the air, and it maybe we'll get into that in a second because we were talking about that just before we came in here. So maybe we'll get into that in just a moment. I thought it was funny. I usually make notes of things that I find funny. And Kaiser called Kate Fanny Pack Mulligan, and she called the Pride the Yahtzee twins. I'm not really sure
no matter
that was a reference to.
No matter how the dungeon is doing right now, Kaiser's still great on the mic.
I love Kaiser. I've loved him from the moment he stepped foot into this whole thing. He's just made for this. He's so good at it. So Kaiser said that, they're rookies. They're going to have their slip-ups.
Yeah.
But they'll be back. And he's got other players that are ready to make moves. Money moves. And then I guess
Parker and
Smets.
That's really
I don't remember who else is on the faction. But it's Adam Witt and Vinny and Owen.
Yeah, and they still have yet to no, that's the Drews. Never mind. That's James White. That's wrong faction.
Yes.
So
Video Drew was in the post-game interview. She kind of took a little bit of jab and said, if you shit talk too much, not a direct quote, but if you shit talk too much, you might run the clock out and not say the whole answer to a question that you definitely knew. However, I think that we have a airtight argument that Rachel was right and Ben was right. They're double right. So,
yeah.
But I understand. You need to shit talk when you got to shit talk. So, And then somebody mentioned... does this mean that maybe in the future we'll get a Deep 13 Pride match, which would be that'd be a really good match.
That's gonna be a really good match.
I can't wait to see that.
Assuming we get that match, who would you have?
My heart is with the Pride. My heart's with the Pride. I'd probably go with the Pride. I don't know because
I would go Deep 13 because Deep 13 is
that's Ashley and Alonso, right?
yeah. I think they have fewer gaps than the Pride does. Even though the Pride balance each other out really really well.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example of this because like Ben got that first round.
Yeah.
Rachel was the second round was basically Rachel stealing a bunch of points, and
Yeah.
the one and that 2-pointer that they ended up the second 2-pointer they stole ended up being the TKO for them.
Yeah.
So they their
It's like
gaps
how-
in knowledge fill each other very well. I just think that these are two teams that represent different aspects of teams that work. So the Pride works together really really well. Their chemistry is really good because But then on the flip side of that, Deep 13, the knowledge base is just insane.
Yeah.
And their chemistry might not be as well as the Pride. So that's where where the knowledge base might not be as deep as Deep 13. Their chemistry makes up for that.
Yeah.
Deep 13, their knowledge base is so vast that it makes up for not having great chemistry and great game knowledge.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say Deep 13 because I think Deep 13 is a sneaky great team.
For sure they are.
And there's no slide on Ben and Rachel. I think they're given more matches, they'll start to build up momentum, and momentum can carry you to a title.
Yeah.
I just think at this point, like if you just like put these teams together yesterday and just slap them in a match together, Deep 13 would take it. So those are my thoughts on that. But getting back to the switchblades,
Greasers.
the greasers, slap the carp.
Oh my God, that's right.
Just
Ridiculous.
getting back to that, I've really thought that they balanced each other out really well. They work really well together. So this is a really good looking team. So because like just looking at this right now, like Ben and Rachel have more wins than Tom and Paul at this point.
Yeah.
So it's
yes.
and Ben is doing better than Tom is doing right now in the league.
Granted, Tom's only had one match, right?
Yeah.
That match.
Yeah.
That they lost.
Exactly.
So yeah. I mean, on paper, yes, you're right.
Yeah, on paper, because like before the season even started, we're like, oh man, Tom and Paul are just gonna run through this division.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always happen in the Schmoedown.
It doesn't happen out the gate. I mean, they still have to like marinate with each other and
exactly. And that's another
grow their
team.
chemistry.
That's another team where knowledge basically carries that team. It's the chemistry and the teamwork that really has to catch up to the knowledge base.
Yeah, because they, like we said before, give them some time and they are going to be.
And now it's like with this whole situation, it's like now we don't even know if they're going to get another match this season.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. So any more thoughts on this match before we just sort of talk about everything else that's going on in the Schmoedown right now?
No, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but something that on this match that I took notes on SCN that because throughout this match, Rachel during the second round, she was like going, oh, these questions are so easy.
You have any more softballs in that bag?
Exactly. And Harloff made it a point to say this on SCN that he's tired of this, and I kind of agree with him. Because he feels that it's basically you're shitting on the writers, and the writers work insanely hard to come up with these questions, and it's like I don't. What am I trying to say? I try not. And he said you can talk about that on like after shows all you want if you think the questions are too easy. That because that's the point. That's something that you can talk on after shows like this show.
Yeah,
we can debate how easy the questions were and stuff like that. He doesn't like it when competitors do it on air.
Yeah, don't call me out on air.
Yeah, exactly. So what are your thoughts on that? Like,
I agree because, and this is something we've definitely talked about probably a good couple times. I love Rachel. I'm not saying anything to say anything shitty about Rachel, but like in this very situation, she was like, oh, you got any more softballs in the bag? And like, wow, have you fucking seen the movie kind of question?
Yeah.
But it's like, that's your strength.
Yeah.
Of course, they're all going to feel like softballs to you because for the most part, question. What word am I looking for? Not hardness. Difficulty.
There you go.
That's a good word, not hardness. So question difficulty. Yeah. Question difficulty, it's very subjective for the most part. There are some questions that it's like, fuck. But for the most part, I think it's very subjective. To Rachel, those were all like, wow.
Yeah. Did
You might as well just hand them these points.
Yeah.
Obviously, that wasn't the case because they had to go to multiple choice a lot. They missed a lot. Did they get a question right?
Yeah, they got a couple questions right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, they weren't all softballs to them. They were all softballs to Rachel because that is where she fucking rocks it.
Yeah.
So I understand where Christian's coming from because it's all subjective. You have Star Wars questions that you're like, wow, did you see the movie? And I'm like, yeah, many times, and I still don't fucking know.
And to that point, I think a way to do that is it's not so much what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. Because
wording of the question?
No, the way you're like, it's like, oh, these questions are so easy. Oh. I think a great way to make it into trash, because I think that's what Rachel was basically trying to do, was making it trash talk. I think a better way to do that is Rachel Cushing did this, I think, in one of her first IT matches, and like is in the first round. She's like, wow, can we get an actual hard question? And Christian,
I wonder if that would be the same. Christian wouldn't get mad at that.
Christian loved that comment. And I love that too, because you're flexing, and you're getting to your opponent's head,
and you're also, but you're not like,
shitting on the content. You're basically you're flexing to that point. You're not saying this because you're not saying, oh, that was a fucking easy question. It's like, yeah, can we get any harder questions? Because these questions aren't, they're really easy to me.
Yeah,
and it's not a bad question. It's just like, oh, I want more difficult questions, please. And it's gameplay, and you're not like complaining. I think what Harloff has a problem with is complaining.
Yeah,
not flexing.
That's a good point.
So I think if that's what Rachel was trying to do, she just went about it a way that Christian doesn't like.
Right.
So
and it was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, because it's not like Rachel was the only one to make comments.
Yeah, and he went as far to say, like, if you do end up doing that in a match, he's gonna ask Nerd Chronic to cut it out of the episode, because he can do that.
I respect that.
But I think it's just one of these things where, like, he's trying to get this match. He might have more time to edit these now. That he only has to get one episode out a week. So that was just something that I think Christian is trying to crack down on. It's like, look, I understand that, like, all this shit is objective. If you want to talk about it afterwards, when the cameras aren't rolling, just don't do it on air, because it's kind of tasteless.
I definitely agree with him.
Yeah, I agree with him, because again, like, the writing team has it hard enough, and they've gone as far as to be repeating past questions now to make it to ease up on the writers, because I think there's only a staff of upwards of 5, maybe. I could be wrong.
I only know of the 2, but yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, and Abby Friel just got added to that team, so
jealous. Add me.
Yeah, so just
I'll watch movies.
Yeah,
I'll watch them.
Yeah, so but that's what's happened on SCN. And then this week's backstage was very interesting. The first time they did backstage through StreamYards, I ended up missing, because I think I was either working on something. Yeah, I was scrambling to finish a piece of client work, and I was also studying, like I always fucking am. But I was able to watch this week because things have eased up, obviously. But they did this whole StreamYard thing and bringing in guests. I love this format.
Yeah.
Because it's like a rotating door of guests. It's like, all right, well, we'll see, because they had Rachel Cushing on,
Mara
Kanamic, and Paul Oyama.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all right, we'll see you later, Paul. Let's bring Rachel in. All right, or no, it went Paul. No, wait, Mara, Paul, and then Rachel. I think they ended with. And it's like, all right, we'll see. We'll catch you later. And then it's like, all right, we'll say goodbye to them. Now we say goodbye. I really, really like this format, because it feels
efficient.
It feels efficient. It feels like you're having more voices than just. And if people have that stupid Finstock Exchange bias type argument, it's like, now you don't have that argument, because you're rotating in multiple guests.
It's easier to get more variety.
So like, I really like this format, and but to that point is like, it's great content, but it's not great business, because they can't bring in as many Streamlabs for some reason.
It's not great for the long term.
Yeah, but I really like this format. I really hope they would find a way to meld and bring in Streamlabs with this.
Yeah.
Because I really like this format, because again, it gets more voices in the room.
There has to be something.
There has to be. I think Christian is very aware of this,
and
I think that he will find a way to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm really hoping because that opens up more people to like maybe you bring in Alex, you bring in me, you bring people that are competitors that don't live in LA.
Yeah.
You can remote them in because Polyama lives in Hawaii.
Damn.
So they brought him in that way.
Damn.
But yeah, they dropped a whole bunch of stuff.
Just like on the SEN, they had like, I don't know, 50 fucking 7 people on
I
SEN on
love
Friday.
that episode.
That was a good time.
I really love that episode. I just really hope that they can find a way to meld that because this be for backstage especially.
Yeah.
SCN I don't mind it so much because like once things start settling down and bring everybody back in to the studio and start recording like normal, SCN's built for live interaction.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
agree.
so much remote. But like for backstage, it's perfect for that.
It actually does lend itself more
It
to
does.
that kind of a format.
But yeah, they talked about a whole bunch of stuff. I think it was I can't remember who said this, but I have a note of like somebody mentioned that in the IG division that strength and weakness. I think it was Roka that said strength and weaknesses aren't necessarily a thing. Really, I think it was actually no. I think Rachel said this that like. Yeah, your strategies and singles and like strengths and weaknesses are so broad. So
plays
like
a big role.
It plays a role because some people might be good at 80s, others might be good at like IG categories and things like that. When it's in IG, if you're not familiar at the very least with all the categories, that can really hurt you.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it'd be like me jumping into IG right now, and all I've been doing is studying Star Wars. There's no way I'll be able to survive just by knowing one category or two.
No.
In IG, you have to know, especially when you get up to the Chandrus, Smetses, even Hannah. When you get to that level, you need to be well versed in all the categories. Otherwise, you're not going to go anywhere in that division.
Agreed.
So I think that was a really good point to bring up because it's like, yeah, especially now with like Dan Merle coming in thing because like. You really don't know where his strengths are, but with that experience and that habit of studying, he's paying attention to everything.
Yeah.
So I like bringing up that argument, and even further down, again, Star Wars competitor, you can't just be familiar with one piece of Star Wars over the other. You have to know all of those films inside and out, especially if you want to go after Damon, because Damon knows so much about the movies, period, and then his knowledge base goes into canon and legends, which could actually help him in the long run with the movies. So that was a great point that I thought I brought up. Then they also had this comment of Chandru being a cocky heel competitor. Well, I think you had something to say about this, but like I think you said that you
like the argument of is he a face or is
he a face or a heel? Because I think he's just a cocky face that comes off as a heel. Because he's posting all these things on Twitter about like, oh, I'm coming for that belt. You better polish that belt up for me.
Better sanitize
it's
that
like, that's
belt
not,
so I
that,
don't get
it's like,
Coronova.
that's just fun. That's just wait, what?
It's just
did you have a COVID joke?
No, our friends are dumb, and every time we bring up coronavirus, we say it a different way, like Cordova or Cornova or something, and it bled into this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I don't see him technically as a heel. I just see him as a face with a lot of trash talk.
Which I could see.
So,
but the thing that made me like, oh no, was when I think it was on Action Industries and Andrew Guy, reigning heel of the year for what, 2 years. The award should just be named the Andrew Guy Award. He was like, Chandru is a fantastic heel, and that was what made me go, am I missing something?
Yeah, I don't know.
But now I don't know if I'm just being brainwashed because it's Andrew Guy saying it and he's like the best heel that almost ever. Like, I don't know. Now I kind of feel like, oh yeah, it was kind of dickish the way you said that. But it was like kind of said in a gentle way that I feel like Chandru has a playful way of delivering harsh shit talk.
And that's why I see him as a face, not with an edge, but with a lot of trash talk. Because it's not like he's like, because bringing like Cal Mouse is a perfect example of a heel. Because he has trash talk, but it's not like personal, but it's like, it's almost like not bullying. God, what am I looking for? The way his trash talk is, it's like, it's not playful at all. It's like really, it's like
It's
almost,
direct.
it's direct. It's
pointed.
almost hurtful.
Yeah.
Challenger's is more playful, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you gotta keep that belt polished up for me. I'm coming for it.
It
And
has a lighter feel.
Yeah, it's very light. It's very playful.
Like,
so that's
when you
why I
compare
don't
to
see
Shannon
him
and Mike.
exactly. So that's why I don't see him as a heel. I see him as a face with playful trash talk.
Yeah, that's why at the end of the year, it will be interesting to see if he gets nominated for one of those,
Yeah.
of the year.
I don't
will
see
he
it.
get face or will he get heel?
I don't see it. Yeah.
You don't see him getting a nomination for heel of the year.
No.
You would more see
More
it
see it as a
of the year.
face, because it also depends on like how do fans see you, and like, because like, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
should be interesting.
but yeah, they also had Mark Economic on there, saying before she was even in the Schmoedown, she would hang around the studio because obviously she's Dan's girlfriend, and for the longest time that's exactly what she's known for.
Dan's girlfriend.
Dan's girlfriend, and she wanted the competitors and like the fans to really know her, and so that's why that's one of the reasons she went into the Schmoedown, because she wanted to get, she just wanted to be known more than just, hey, I'm Dan's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And as soon as she started winning, this is like, winning makes you popular, obviously. People started coming up to her, it was like, hey, I'm this person, so and so, I'm so and so. It's like, yeah, I've been here for like 3 months. I know who you are.
We've met a couple times.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just things like that. And like and one of the things that she touched on is like why she stepped away. And it was like she always had this mindset of once it stops being fun for her,
Yeah.
she was gonna stop playing. And she went through this whole ordeal with like her match with Kalinowski when she lost the belt to him.
That was messy.
It was messy, and like I think they had some kind of like agreement between them, like they wouldn't bring characters into the competition. Like, how Kalinowski at this point was like at the height of his heel moments. And they said, all right, let's just let the game be the game. Let's not bring characters into this.
Let's not shit talk.
Yeah,
and
exactly. She
whole
she wanted this to be a fun thing for her. And the second that Kalinowski did the whole like
Ninka. That wasn't Ninko.
No,
Ninka.
it was the Plo Koon question.
Yes.
And he did the whole fake out thing. And
do I know it? Do I not know
yeah,
it?
and now tomorrow that was very like not crossing the line, but it's like, come on, we had this agreement not to do that.
Well, because in that moment she was like, all right, can we just like? And she actually had like visible. She was visibly annoyed.
Yeah.
Like, can we just fucking get this over with? Like, those weren't her words, but it was that.
Yeah,
that was the vibe.
And when you watch her post match interview, they cut a lot of it out.
Yeah, there was a lot of cuts.
Yeah, and she ended up leaving, and then I think and it was just her like saying like, this isn't funny anymore. I don't know why I'm doing this anymore. And like she stepped away. She had this whole statement that she released, and obviously Christian's like, yeah, I'm respecting it. And he said that he never like pressured her to come back, and she ended up coming back on her own, which is fantastic because we need more people like Mara in the division and in the league period. But obviously now because the season opener was supposed to be the championship match between Mara and Kevin.
Yes.
But they had to postpone it, and everyone was like, well, what's going on? And obviously it was medical, because I didn't realize how like serious her condition was. And like because she said, as far as like, and if you watch backstage, it's like the medicine just really like messed with her recall like reaction, because she said she'd be watching something with Dan, and like Dan would ask her a question. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. She's like, her example was like, yeah, who was Ben Franklin? She's like, Ben Franklin. I know Ben Franklin. And it would take her a while to like get to the answer. So it's like, yeah, you don't want to go into that match, especially a title match against Smets like that. So
you gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah, and like so and especially now with all the corona stuff going on, she says she's already sensitive to germs and everything like that. So all this piled on, it's like she really can't leave the house. No, like it's almost to the point where it's not voluntary for her. She has to stay in the house just for her own safety. So as soon as this blows over and as everything gets back to normal, that automatic title match it'll
come into play.
It's still there. It's just a matter of when it's going to come into play.
And will it be against Smets or Chandru
or somebody else? Because we have no idea
to hold the belt.
Yeah. So Christian very politely says like, take your time, obviously, because your health takes precedence over this, because this is your life that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So
we all love the Schmoedown, but we also
want Mara to get better.
Just a fucking human being level.
Exactly.
We just want people to be okay.
There are people behind these competitors. Yeah. So however long
lives.
however long it takes her to get back, she'll have that title shot. And and people might have a problem with like she gets to come back and automatically go for the title. It's like, yeah, it was promised to her when she left the game.
Yeah.
So Christian is good about keeping his promises. So I'm glad that
Start your own Schmoedown if you don't like it.
yeah.
Jesus.
So, and we already talked about Chandru automatically gets his title shot now that, because it was supposed to be Mara now, and then Christian went to Mike and he's like, oh, I want to focus on teams now because I said his best shot is now at teams and not the IG.
Fucking crazy.
So
for
now,
Chandru, that's crazy.
now Chandru automatically gets that shot. So when that's going to happen
remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen. Oh God, if this starts to die down as soon as people the government or whoever's in charge thinks it's going to go down, maybe collision. We'll see. But yeah, I think that'd be a really good match between Chandru and Smets.
I need everybody to wash their hands and stay inside.
Yes, please, because this match was already decided months ago because this was supposed to happen in Houston.
What was?
The Chandru Smets match.
Oh.
Because that was supposed to be the headliner for Houston, but now obviously since they had to postpone it, don't get that match anymore.
Well, yeah, wash your hands, stay inside because
yes,
I want to go to Star
Do
Wars
your,
Celebration.
Oh my God, I would be so upset if Celebration gets canceled.
Please.
Oh my God.
Do your part.
Yeah.
I really want to go. And it's in California, which is like Corona land. One of the Corona lands right now. They may not be the epicenter, but
yeah.
They're there.
So then they also had Rachel on. I took a couple of notes, and one of the biggest notes that I took was that Roka, again, he's like, all right, he asked Rachel, is there any chance of you coming back to the Schmoedown as a competitor? Because the reason she left is it starting to affect her personal life.
Yeah.
And people have jobs to do. And she had a really time-consuming job, and she couldn't swing it anymore with all of a sudden competing in 3 different divisions, and it started to affect her personal life and her work life. So it's like, I need to step away from right now, get all that situated, and then maybe I'll come back. And she said, yes, it's a possibility that I will come back.
Excuse me, Rachel.
Yes, but she said, don't count on it being this season.
Yeah. Well, especially now.
Especially now, but
Corona.
she said after this season, we'll see. Nice. Because the reason that all came up because Sam now has an open spot on his team. He's like,
that only makes sense.
But to that point is you have to open up the waiver wires because
you can't just hand Sam Levine Rachel Cushing.
And if she decided to come back, I think the team that would have to have a first shot at her, the dungeon, because they have 0 wins and they're at the bottom of the leaderboard. So
oh man, imagine that.
Yeah,
because it's obvious that Kaiser's like, let me put all my eggs in that IG basket.
Because if somehow Sam Levine did pick up Rachel, they said because he has 9 slots and there's 10 slots, so he said, all right, bring back Rachel.
Put her with Guy.
No.
Oh.
Sam comes back and fills that 10th spot, and they become this monster team. How insane would that team be with the
couple goals?
Yeah, the couple. Yeah, and news is out of the bag. Sam Levine and Rachel Cushing are now engaged.
Yay! I mean, that's
so
not. It's not.
It's not news, but like
keep up, all right.
Yeah, so happy for them. But yeah, like I don't know, because I'm friends for our Facebook. I was looking at the Facebook pictures, and I'm in the wedding business. I'm a wedding videographer, and I always like looking at like engagement stories and engagement picture. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet,
precious.
Yeah, and because he proposed to her on her birthday, so that's a fun little story too. So that's awesome.
Precious.
But like, yeah, she also touched on like how being in like, obviously 2 amazing Schmoedown competitors. They, we said it too. We watch movies differently now because of Schmoedown.
Oh my God.
We watch movies that we've seen before. Like, oh, that'd
be a great question. That'd be a great question. Yeah. The Schmoedown has tainted
the
way I watch movies now.
Rachel said that even before the movie starts, they both stop. It's like, all right, it was directed by this person. This person stars in it. It came out in this year. And it's like, oh my God.
Nerds.
I was like, that is a the bone Star Wars, or not, Schmoedown competitors.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're both former belt holders.
Double belt holders. That is a power Schmoedown couple.
Damn.
Yeah, damn. So that was some interesting
snatch that
things.
Shit up.
Yeah.
If she's on the waiver wire.
At the very most, I think she'd go into the draft next season. Can you imagine the fight for Rachel Cushing? Like multiple trades would happen.
Yeah.
Like multi-team trades.
Well, and might I use that as a segue? Because Andrew and I were talking about this earlier tonight. With coronavirus going on, we don't know how long this is going to go on. I thought I heard something about like, I don't know if it's the CDC or some medical person in government. I don't know. But they were like, oh, this could last until like August, which, God, no, please. I just want to go back to normal.
The fuck home.
Stay the fuck home. Wash
Stay.
your hands. Stay.
The fuck
But
home.
home.
Stay the fuck home.
Picnic at the park. That seems to be a lot of people's rationale.
I really like that
God,
meme.
Yet another Friends reference. That one a bit more.
Je m'appelle
Claude.
Claude. Je m'appelle Claude. Fou.
Anyways, we were talking about like with coronavirus going on. I'm so fucking tired of talking about it, but how could you not?
Yeah.
Oh, so if it goes on until whoa,
As I sneeze, Jesus
bless
Christ.
you. Oh God, I better social distance myself. Shit.
I left the house twice in the past 3 weeks. I think I'm good.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna quarantine myself to another room.
Speaking of going, I said this on Twitter. Like I went to the grocery store, and I've never had to itch my nose.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
bad.
That's what I'm saying. My face has
Oh
never
my
itched
God.
so much than right now, and I've never been so nervous to sneeze or cough.
Yeah. In front of people outside of me.
Like there was one time I was at work, I was sitting at my desk and I was like taking a drink of my water and I absolutely just breathed some of my water in and I had to cough, but I was like at my desk because I didn't want to cough and alert anybody. All right, so back to coronavirus, even though we never really left it.
Yeah.
But if it does last until August, and God forbid longer.
Yeah, that's the season there.
That's the season. That's the majority of the season.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh, what do you do? Like, do
Yeah.
you just close out the season? Like, oh, well, what are you going to do? Corona.
Yeah.
I don't.
Which for the FinStock Exchange, that would be very, very, very good.
Well, as the leaderboard stands right now, that would be great.
Yeah.
For, the team that
but
happens to be in first
even
place.
though I am on the faction, it's like, that's shit. That'd be complete shit.
Even though I am a supporter of the FinStock Exchange, even if that was to happen, I still be like, wow, that's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And not that it would be anybody's fault. It's just the nature of the beast of what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But we were like, oh, what does that mean? Do you think maybe Christian would like extend the season and make it like 2-year long season, as ridiculous as that sounds? Yeah. But I don't know, because if Spectacular happens in December.
So August, September, October, November, December. It's 4 months that you can get as many as you can in.
And then, how do you know people's schedules? I mean, it's going to be weird when things get back to normal and the quarantine's over. People maybe go back to work.
Maybe they double down on. They get 2 jobs because they got to make up for the jobs they lost.
Exactly. People are losing money left and right.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can you guarantee that the moment? And I don't even fucking know. Is the government going to be like, all right, everybody, quarantine's over, go out and fucking have a ball? Yeah. Like, how do you know it's just going to end one day?
I think the only way that it ends boom, like a drop off is vaccination. I think this is the only way it happens. Even then, it's very cautious.
Even then, because that could get into a political debate about vaccinations. But we're not going to go there because I don't talk politics, even though I do have a stance on that. I don't talk politics.
Vaccinate your children, please.
Yeah. But, you don't know that one day it's going to be like, all right, cool, we did it. We beat coronavirus. Like, everybody go back to work. It's like... It's
still, people are going to be tiptoeing out
It's going to be a slow ascent back to where we were.
Yeah,
if we can consider that an ascent.
Yes. So do you just bleed the season into next year,
or do you go, oh well, shit happens? Because then if I was like the Dungeon or another team, I just keep on thinking the Rockstars. They haven't had as many matches.
They've had 3 matches.
Droogs haven't had that many matches. FinStock Exchange, I want to say, has had 6 or 7 matches.
Yeah.
Compared to like Droogs or Rockstars that have had maybe 2?
I think
1 or 2 Rockstars.
Rockstars had
Damon and another one.
Damon
right?
and they've only had 2.
Yeah, so I'd be kind of like, oh shit, that's like several months of potentially, but places where I could have won and got more points, but because Corona,
but
now I lose.
Also they already have enough matches to lead into May. And he said once it does get to the point where we can come back and start doing studio matches, they're going to try to live stream as many as possible just to catch up.
Which I hope that plan works.
I hope it does.
You never know when it's gonna. You never know when it's gonna ease up. You never know when we're gonna get back to that sense of normalcy. Nothing's a guarantee. This could fucking last. And I don't even want to think about it. I just want to get back to normal. But yeah, there's just a lot of questions, and I do not envy Christian one bit.
Me neither. He's doing his best to keep the ship afloat.
He's doing his best. God knows he's doing his best, and he's doing I think a fantastic job handling this and rolling with the punches.
I hate this idea, but it might come down to a point where we're just gonna have to do StreamYards for everything. I hate that idea.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wonder why the reasoning was behind the IG tournament not happening in that fashion. I wonder why. Probably won't ever find out unless he talks about it on SCN.
Yeah.
But who knows? Depending on how long this lasts for, that might be the only option.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, I do have a couple more notes about, because they also interviewed Paul on backstage, and he went into further, because he said that in his match against, I think it was Roka, that he said it was a complicated situation in Spectacular.
Yeah.
He elaborated on that. He said that he was going through a tough time.
His match against Bateman.
His match against Bateman, there was a factor of real life shit bleeding into the Schmoedown. He had lost like 3 family members or something in the span of a couple of months.
That was 2012 for me, bro.
Yeah, it was just for anybody to go through that, and it's like right now. I mean, granted, again, it might be a nice release from that situation.
Yeah,
but again, that's
still there.
It's still there. But also that he was also in the situation where like he had planned to come out from Hawaii to film matches. He was already on his plane there, and it's like, all right, well, everything's shut down, so we can't film this. So they had to go all the way back home. No matches taped, because he was supposed to go against his team match against Deep 13, and he was also slated to tape a IG match as well. So that was very interesting. Oyama. I was like,
know that news
wow,
to me.
that is very interesting. I would love to see Oyama in IG.
That'd be interesting.
So
I didn't watch backstage this
so
week. I don't know. It was a weird week.
Another competitor going to all 3 divisions.
Yeah.
So, well, minus the Star Wars division, all the divisions.
Yeah.
So, that was very interesting nugget. I was like, wow. It's like the second they said, yeah, Oyama and IG is like,
well,
yes, give me that match now, because it's like that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, so the situation that we're in right now
sucks.
I know, I was worried that we weren't gonna be able to fill the time for this episode, but we went over an hour.
Shit.
On our first video episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. Let me know how you guys like this. This is actually if you tuned into us last week for Going Rogue, this is a brand new table. I really love this table.
I like not having to be like, hey, Andrew.
Yeah, exactly. We're actually, we're not 6 feet apart, but we're further apart than we were on that other table. But yeah, lots of space on this table. And the whole setup. Maybe I'll do a little like studio tour for our patrons, which is a nice plug. So if you want to help support this channel and help grow, because this is part of the growth going into video, because it's not just like, I know I have all this equipment already, but it's time consuming to edit all this stuff and get all the studio set up. So if you want to help support this channel, subscribe to the channel, give us a like on this video, share it, tweet about it, but also head over to patreon.com/Andrew and Nicki to become a member of the squadron. Got 4 tiers. Maybe I'll do some special video. We have a special Schmoedown related exclusive content that's coming out tomorrow as of this recording. So it would have already come out yesterday, since this is airing on Monday. Oh, but we have a lot. We're trying to come up with special content just for patrons. So I think everybody's gonna like this piece of content. So when it does come out on Sunday, well, it came out yesterday, but it's coming out tomorrow as of this recording. I think people are gonna like it. But so we have a whole bunch of tiers. Go ahead and check that out. And again, join us on another way to help support us is to join us live on Tuesdays on Going Rogue. Submit your questions, submit your Streamlabs, and also I am streaming on Twitch. I got a couple new segments I want to introduce to Twitch stream, but really right now it's a really relaxed environment, playing video games, talking, chilling with you guys. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm depending on the schedule, I'll try to stream as much. It's a very loose schedule with that, but I want to start doing something that's unique to me as a streamer, and not just stream video games. So keep a lookout for that. So with that, we're just gonna go ahead and wrap this episode of the first video episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. Nicki DiMolento, where can they find you online?
Well, on the internet, I say things on Twitter mostly, and I'm Dimmy, DIMMMYYY.
All All right, and as for me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Drew DiMalanta, DIMALANTA. Make sure to throw me off over there. Make sure to, again, try to help support us on the Patreons. Click subscribe, the bell notification, Going Rogue on Tuesday. And we also have t-shirts at our TeePublic, teepublic.com/Andrew and Nicki. We have Going Rogue t-shirts. We have Beyond the Schmoedown t-shirts.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure they're having a sale at this moment.
They're always having a sale. Just go over, help support. That's another way you can help support this channel. But yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and wrap that up here today. Thank you again for joining us on Beyond the Schmoedown, and we will see you guys next time.